Америці. Хто б знав, що ми тут залишимося, да?
And welcome to the fabulous Las Vegas. Let's go.
Let's do this.
How do you know if you come to the profi interviewer or not? I forgot to charge the microphone. Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. My name is Dr. Misha, Ukrainian vet in United States, and today I have my friend with me, Dr. Oleg. Some of you met him before. He's a Ukrainian doctor as well who moved to Canada and become a vet in Canada, and then he became the Canadian and he moved to United States, and right now he's working in the United States as a vet. This video is going to be useful for many people, for many Canadians who would like to work in the United States as well, and also for the foreign graduate. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you
Very
for
nice to
calling
see
me.
you. Okay, so you work in Canada as a veterinarian, as a foreign graduate, then you became the Canadian. It was very hard time for you to become a vet, but successfully you passed all exams and you're practicing as a vet in Canada. Why you end up being right now in the United States?
Well, hi guys, hi everybody. Thank you again for having this interview with me. Yeah, I had been working as a vet in Canada for 2.5 years, and actually I really liked the practice and people who surrounded me. Like everything was really good, and the area where I worked, I really liked this. There are probably multiple reasons for doing this, but maybe the most important for me is, of course, like money. Yeah, so in States, you're gonna be paid kind of way more than in Canada. Probably depends on the area where you lived, where you live. I lived in Manitoba. I really like this province, but again, for now, it's a little bit more profitable money-wise
to work in the United States.
To work in
so
the US,
let's form that this way. If you move to United States, the life is more expensive here, right? But the income that you're gonna get, it's also higher.
Yeah.
Do you think it's worth it to come here? That's what you feel right now after you moved here?
I cannot say really that the life in the US more expensive. Probably maybe renting the house might be a little bit more expensive. But taxes are like in the US are kind of smaller than in Canada. It depends on your income. When you start making more than $150,000 per year, then you're gonna have way less taxes in the US than in Canada. So money-wise, it's kind of a little bit more profitable again. Second problem with like difference between Canada and the US, that in the US you have to pay for your health insurance, and like in the meantime you don't need to pay for the health insurance in Canada. Again, medicine is different topic, but like if you want to have good medicine in Canada, you have to wait. Like waiting list is pretty long for all the procedures. If you pay for the same procedures in the US, kind of if you pay for your health insurance, you're gonna have them pretty much right away when you need this. And this is different. So you pay for something. So eventually, like if we are talking about the like small things like phone bills, yeah, it's cheaper in the US. Car insurance might be cheaper in the US than in Canada. I don't know, maybe in some states gas is cheaper, like food might be cheaper. So something is more expensive, something is cheaper. But again, if we talk about taxes, eventually everything comes to be a little bit maybe cheaper in the US, than in Canada. Yeah.
So plus minus, you have more benefits right now. If we're not talking about the medicine, right?
Yeah.
But if we're talking about the income plus the quality of life plus the price, right? The numbers then.
Yeah. About salary. Salary in the US, it depends on your qualification, how proficient you are. But salary in the US might be like 3 times more than in Canada.
No way, really?
Yeah. So it can be even more.
It depends on
it depends
state,
how many days you're working, what kind of practice you're working. For example, emergency. Yeah, so you can easily make like 4 times more than in Canada. Like again, it depends on the city, but you can, and it overlaps, like it covers all of your extra expenses in the US. Yeah.
A couple of things, so a couple more questions I want to ask. One is about the visa. So if you're Canadian, right?
Yep.
So you have a Canadian passport.
Kind of. Yeah.
Yeah. Then for you, to get a work permit in US? Is it a difficult process, and how long does it take?
Well, there is special treaty between the US and Canada. There is special list of the professions, which kind of simplifies access to the both markets. For example, if you want to work in Canada as veterinarian or vice versa, it's kind of easy, really easy. Only thing you have to have, so you can obtain your work permit on the border actually.
Really? So
yeah.
you just come to the border?
Yeah,
Canada, US
and
border,
within 30-60 minutes you have your visa for 3 years.
So of course you need to find the hospital first, right?
Yeah, so
before you do that.
You have to have a few things. Yeah, first, you have to have your credits, right? Credentials. I mean, you have to have your license. You have to have your diploma, and yeah, you have to have your American license.
Right. If you're foreign graduate, you need to have the ECFG certificate.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. You have to have your certificate to be permitted to work in the US. Secondly, you have to have job offer or signed contract or both.
Okay.
Then you have to have, ideally, not mandatory, but actually they require this. You have to have your state license. So
the airport is very close.
Yeah, yeah. Well, in Las Vegas, yeah, and we have private jets flying around. Yeah. So you have to have your license in the state where you are gonna work. Usually takes 1-2 months to get this.
Yeah, depending on the state.
Depending on the
I always
state.
recommend to go to Nevada State because no escort tax.
Yeah.
And less taxes you pay and a little bit easy to work with the board, but
Yeah.
whatever.
So then they require you to have with you your resume. Yeah, I didn't know this initially, so they asked me to bring this. Once you have all the list of kind of papers with you in just a matter of 30 minutes, ideally they must have interview with you, but in my specific case, they just approved this. They gave me special list, just list of paper, and told me to write down my duties there. Okay. I did this, and that's it. Yeah, within 30 minutes I had my visa for 3 years. And if you need to prolong this, you can do this indefinitely, many times.
Okay, so one more question I have. How you actually found the job? Because it sounds like it's easy, right?
Yeah.
But was it easy?
Well, it's pretty high demand in the veterinarians in the US and in Canada as well, by the way. But there are a few ways how you can do this. First, you can place your resume on the AVMA site specifically. And yeah, and then they will look for you, your employers,
so
future employers. Yeah, and there are multiple opportunities, like hundreds, thousands of opportunities. Second way, you can go to Indeed
UA.com.
Yeah, and you can look for maybe something specific for you, what you really want to have. I mean, the state, maybe salary wise. So you can look for maybe practice type, maybe general practitioner, emergency vet, I don't know, relief vet, locum. So you can look for different opportunities. By the way, under this visa, you can work only for one employer. If you change your employer, you have to go to the border again and change visa. Again, it's quick process, but you should keep this in mind. You cannot really work for 2-3 hospitals like a local.
It's going to be one hospital. So
yeah, just one hospital.
This is a little bit risky, right? Because you have to make sure that you're going to like this hospital. How it was in your case? So can you so you practice in Washington State, right?
Yeah.
Tacoma.
Yeah.
Why
yeah.
Washington State, and how you knew that this hospital is going to be a good hospital for you?
Yeah. So actually, about how to look the job, I applied for both. I applied for AVMA, I submitted my resume on AVMA site, and also I was looking for the job. And I had hundreds of requests. Kind of people were calling me, people were sending me emails, messages, and everything. So they really wanted to have me. But I had special set of requirements, list of my kind of wishes, which I wanna have. So I was looking, and when people liked me on the I had a few interviews, people liked me, and they told me, okay, we want to have you, so we will be in touch with you soon.
It was online,
online, then properly, yeah, primarily online, yeah. And then it was weeks silence after that, weeks silence. of silence. And it was kind of surprising me, kind of how come? If you really wanna have me, just let me know that you really wanna. And then I had interview with in Tacoma with hospital, and he also told me the same, like my interviewer, kind of, okay, we will be in touch with you. But I was already fed up with these kind of promises, so I sent him kind of letter and told him, listen, if you really want to have me, give me an offer, because otherwise I will look for something else. And very next day he sent me an offer. And the day after that, all of these guys who kind of promised me to call, like, okay, come, we want to have you. It was already late, yeah. Yeah, so I agreed to the offer, and I really liked the offer. Like, it was really good. It is really good life-work balance. So I can work just 4 days a week. I can work more if I want. But I have this kind of opportunity, I have this flexibility. So I can take this or I cannot take this. It's up to me.
So you work 4 days, 3 days off. If you want, you can work more.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
and you make more.
Okay. Yeah. Plus, yeah. So I like this. Plus, I like the salary which they offered to me. It was pretty competitive salary. I have to confess. I'm so happy with what I'm making now. Plus, there are some benefits. So they don't give you really like a welcome bonus, right? They give retention bonus monthly, depending of your production. So you kind of have your bonus every month. Mm-hmm. So plus you have eventually.
Just split it. We can say it's split it.
Yeah. But you have this for good for life. You have this as long as you are working,
but
right?
As a as an inspiration and motivation, can you imagine, guys? You apply for the job, and then you're not only gonna get paid for that. They can also pay you bonus for this. So you're gonna sign this contract and you're gonna get the bonus. It's amazing. It's extra motivation, and this is why you have to work hard and don't hesitate to become a vet if you're already foreign graduate and not sure if you can make it.
So plus you have like every 3 months I have production bonus, depending if I make special like a little bit over a certain amount of money, and it's kind of easy to be honest here. So I have extra money every 3 months. So eventually I have almost like 1/3 more than I saw initially on my contract. So it's pretty.
It's great. So it's
pretty great.
It's a good change. It's a good change.
Yeah. Of course, I was scared about new practice management, people who were going to surround me. So it's always challenging, especially for me. I like to know people. And
what I think we can do, let's go inside, out from the wind, and we can talk about the difference in the Canada hospital and the US, right?
Yeah, let's go. Let's do this. Yeah.
Let's talk about the difference in the practices. So you worked in one practice in Manitoba, right? Winnipeg, and now it's Tacoma. Do you feel the difference? I don't know, like about the mentality, if it's such a big thing, but what's the difference do you feel, and what is the same?
Well, of course, I was quite anxious when I came to this practice because everything is different. But it turned out to be pretty good actually, and people are nice, and it's different management, totally different management. It was good from the very first day actually. So my appointments are longer here. So
you have kind of like more time for.
I have more time for my soaps, for my records. Have time to think about, read maybe something about. Secondly, like in this practice specifically, our assistants and technicians, they're doing way more job for me here than compared to Canada. Mm-hmm. So they're like in my specific Canadian practice, like everything had been done by me specifically, like blood draw, like many like placement of the catheters. So technicians were doing this as well, but we didn't have enough staff I believe in Canada. Here we have a little bit more people, and I don't really care about like blood collections, catheter placement, intubation, like surgical preparation. So even surgery, I just go into the surgical room and do the surgery.
Okay, so you like step in, you do your part.
I just do my part,
out,
and
right?
Plus in this practice, what I like is that our assistants and technicians, I don't really cover like topics regarding like fleas, tick prevention, heartworm prevention, vaccination. I don't really talk anything about. So I enter the room with technician, and I specifically know already what I'm going to do there. So what vaccines? I don't cover these topics. I just talk about the health of this animal.
Interesting.
Yeah, and we just discuss things which really important, like my doctor opinion about the
Very interesting moment because I'm just thinking right now about the liability. You don't know what your text is gonna say. If they're gonna say like to do some vaccine which is like not needed right now, or in your opinion, for example, not needed. For example, if the pet is 7-8 years old and you're gonna do DH2PP, it's not always needed to be done every year. You can do it every 3 years, right?
Yeah. So
it's like
no,
a
no, no.
trust,
So when my assistant is calling for me, like to go into the exam room, I actually have little discussion with more technicians. So they sometimes might say me, okay, they don't want to have this laptop vaccine, for example. Then I go into the room and I say to them, okay, I see that you don't want to have laptop vaccine, but I still would strongly recommend you to do this, because we have laptop around, and if this happens to your pet, it might be contagious for you. So this is in your best interest to have this, and this is your safety as well. Just $30, not a big deal. And like in most cases, people kind of okay, want to do this. Sometimes they don't want to do this, but yeah. So again, if people like are willing to do something, they do this right away with the assistant. You don't need to spend your time with this.
Okay.
If they don't want to do this, you can cover this again.
Kind of like save your time a little
Yes,
bit, right?
you
So
just
for
have
the
soft
extra
approach to people and discuss this with them. And in most cases, people, when they hear your opinion, they are going to do this. Yeah, but again, I just in my exam room, I say I want to have this test, and I don't really talk about the money. So I told this to people. I left the room, and other conversation, like further conversation, is covered by my assistant and technician about the money, about the time and everything. So I like this actually. I don't talk about money with people, like in most cases. They do estimates for me. My assistants and technician don't do estimate. I can check this for sure, and I do this, but they special template how to do this, and they do this.
So it makes your life easier.
Yeah, I like this. Yeah, I don't talk about money with people, and what I found that as a vet, I sometimes try to save the money of people, kind of try to help them, try to avoid like expenses. It's probably my Ukrainian problem. Yeah, but when I leave this for my assistants and technicians, they're doing better job. So if I told this test should be done, they kind of like talk them into doing this. People, probably I can.
So you don't have this kind of like feeling that I'm not sure if they can afford it or not.
Yeah,
you do like the medical part that what must be done.
Yeah,
and
of
makes
course,
your life a little bit easier.
of course, if people say me no, we cannot really afford anything. Usually, in most cases, they say me right away. So, doctor, probably we cannot afford that. Let's choose something different plan, maybe medical trial, and see how it goes. And if it doesn't help, then we can do this maybe tomorrow or something. So in most cases, if they don't really want to do anything, they tell me right away. Yeah.
Kind of to summarize right now, we can say that don't be afraid to do the changes, to make the changes in your life, right?
Yeah.
So you had a good experience in Canada, but right now you have even better experience.
Yeah, I like this practice.
Financially, structure,
Yeah.
and like less headache, I would say, right?
Yeah.
And more free time.
Yeah.
So, which means...
I don't have, by the way, on calls and Saturdays in this clinic. So because sometimes I had to cover Saturdays in my previous clinic, and it's okay. I understand the responsibility to the community. I understand things, but at the same time, this is your life, right? And it's passing you because you're working on Saturdays, and I have a big family. Again, guys, I can say that for me it was really difficult decision to come to the US, because it was even more difficult for me to come to the US compared when I moved from Ukraine to Canada. I don't know why.
Maybe because you knew already what can happen before you moved to Canada. You didn't know like what to expect, right?
Yeah.
You just done that.
So, and I was scared by multiple times, by like in Canada. Oh, you're gonna like people in America are angrier, and they're gonna like drag you to the court for like tiny reasons. Yeah, it's probably true.
But
I should
at
be.
the same time, people are kind of similar everywhere. Maybe I would say.
But again, we have teamwork. I have medical director which covers me, which we help each other. If we have difficult clients, we just know how to deal with them, and we're learning how to deal with them. So even though it was difficult, I'm really happy that I did this.
What hospitals, not the hospitals, what states have you had on your list? Because United States is a big state.
Yeah.
It's a big country, right?
Yeah.
And you have different weather, different like cities, overcrowded cities, or like more village kind
Yeah,
of style?
I like silence. So for me, to be on the road, like five lanes road, is kind of wow. So I would like to have like one lane road. At the same time, I understand that it comes with price, right? So if you have one lane road to your job, probably you're not gonna be paid, like get paid well. So yeah, I like Washington State. It's warmer than Manitoba. This is for sure. Yeah,
Rainy, but
yeah.
warm still, right?
It depends. I believe the state is good for you if you have good people which surrounds you.
Yeah,
It depends really on your people. Home is where are people who love you. Yeah, this is the home. So if I have people, good people around me, I'm okay with the weather.
So I remember you told me, so coming back to the question, you told me that you were looking for the states that are closer to the Canada border, right?
Yeah.
So you can go for the interview.
Well, I really love Canada. I mean, this was the part where it was difficult for me to move from the Canada to the
Do you
US.
feel like it's a comfort zone? It's hard to leave the comfort zone? Or it wasn't really?
It's probably mindset. So I moved to Canada. I didn't think about the US until this summer at all. So US just there are multiple reasons. Yeah, but it was pretty drastic change, I would say. So and I had to make this decision, and I love Canada. So I saw my life in Canada only. So for me, I want to be a bit closer to the Canada kind of all the time. Yeah. To Canada, I feel like this is my country, and I'm already Canadian.
We'll see. I hope US will treat you well and you're gonna be happy here. So I'm really glad that you moved, to be honest. I know you mentioned you have a big family, right?
Yep, yeah.
And you moved here with the TN visa?
TN visa,
TN
yeah.
visa. How about your family? How is that works for them?
Well, all the dependents of TN visa holder, they are eligible for getting, they call this TD visa. So it's just $6 per visa, by the way. All you need is to bring your family to the border, and plus you have to have like birth certificates of your kids and marriage certificate with your wife. So and again, it's just matter of kind of.
So it's kind of quick and
quick, cheap, yeah. And again, as long this visa works as long as your visa is working, and. There's a little bit restriction about so they can study, my dependents, in the US, like in school primarily, but they cannot really work.
That was a question I wanted to ask. So can your wife, for example, work?
No, they cannot work.
She can't.
No.
So this is kind of...
Only if she falls under this list of these professions, and she might have her own TN visa. So then she will be able to work.
Okay. I wanted to go a little bit back to the license processing. When you have your license in Canada, right?
Yeah.
And then you apply to get a license in US, what do you need to do? So you need to, for example, get the license in Washington State, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. You don't need to like transfer any like credentials or whatever. How it works? Is it hard? For example, for me, just gonna explain quick. I have a license in 2 states, right? If I want to go to Washington State, for example, I just go to the website and I see what criteria do they have, and in most of the cases I just need to transfer my ECFEG and my diploma, and I'm done. It's kind of quick for me.
Yeah.
How about Canadians?
Well, first you have to be a member of American Veterinary Medical Association, as far as I know. Yeah, and
almost
you have
$400 a year, right?
It covers by my clinic, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, and this is covered by my company. Yeah. And secondly. So if you are foreign graduate, you have to have the certificate of like
ECFEG program?
Yeah, so you have to have this certificate.
Completed
So when I was living in Canada, I applied for both associations simultaneously, to the American Association and Canadian Association. So you have the same exams like BCCE, NAVLA exam, clinical proficiency examination. Plus we have one more extra exam in Canada, which doesn't exist in the US. But eventually everything is kind of the same. So I had both certificates, like a Canadian certificate, the name of this is Certificate for Qualification, and American certificate from ECFEG, this commission, right.
So for the foreign, sorry for interrupting, for the foreign it means they need to pay this fee for the ECFEG, then transfer everything, and takes time, right? It can take like a couple months probably, no?
Yeah, if you are like people like we are, I always recommend to apply to both associations right away, because in order to apply there, you have to pass your English proficiency examination first, which is valid only for 2 years. So if it expires, then you have to take your English exam again.
So let's say if you would apply just right now to ACFEG, you need to take your English.
Yeah. So
but
for example,
CC and the rest can be transferred, right?
yes. So for example, I am a vet, licensed vet in Canada already, but I didn't apply for ECFVG program. And then I have to take my English exam again, and other exams will be just transferred.
This is a very interesting moment, actually.
Yeah, they will be transferred, and you will get your like certificate.
For everyone foreign graduate in Canada, if you think that you might move to US, and we would recommend to spend this money.
It's just $1,700 American dollars, not a big deal, guys. Just for your dream, possibly you will go to the US, and so
it's gonna pay off. So,
but I didn't want to go through this hell exam again, so that's why I decided to pay a little bit more. Yeah. Seriously.
And then, so you have this. So you already had ECFEG.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then you just follow the same requirements by the state. Right?
Well, Washington State is different from probably many other states. So they requested from me, validation or confirmation from my university college in Ukraine that I indeed studied there. I indeed graduated from there, and it doesn't seem to be a problem if you graduated from Canadian or American college, but it's pretty kind of problem if you graduated from Ukrainian or maybe Russian or Belarus college and university, because it involves lots of job. Actually, you have to have kind of connections sometimes.
Yeah, they're not always ready to help you.
Yeah, they don't. They are not paid for this. So so you should kind of promote.
Plus, with the war in Ukraine, it's also changed everything.
And I told to Washington State about this, but they didn't really care about this. So they told me, no, we still want to have this. Yeah. So I have to arrange everything, and it involves. All Ukrainians know what it involves, how to do this in Ukraine. So even though I was really good student and I did graduate from the Ukrainian college, I still had to arrange things, and it was quite a headache.
That was probably the biggest challenge for you.
Yeah, it was the biggest problem. So my NAVLE was kind of transferred. I had to pay for this $99. To transfer my NAVLE results to the Washington State Department.
Same here if you want to go from one state.
Yeah. So it wasn't. So my Manitoba licensing authority, Manitoba Veterinary Medical Association, they didn't even charge me for any transfer of my real license numbers and everything. So it was pretty easy. The only big problem was Ukrainian college. I already had the same very process with
ACFEG.
So and I asked them, why do you need this for me to undergo again?
It's a question to the board. Why do you guys need that?
Why? I already they were exploring me by magnification already there. I have this kind of certificate. Why are you throwing me into this hell process again? Nobody cares actually.
Yeah, things got everything.
Yeah, but everything. Yeah, actually, I managed to get my Washington State license within 1 and something month, maybe 6 weeks.
It took me a little bit more to get my California license actually, being here, and yeah.
But I was pretty kind of persistent. I was, I was pushing a little bit. Let's do this. Yeah, it does take some efforts and time and money, but eventually it pays off. It pays off, yeah. Sure. So don't be afraid of this kind of bureaucracy and with this lengthy process sometimes. It does take some time from the very idea to come to the US and started working in the US, and I was quick. It took for me probably 5 months, 4 months, yeah.
Yeah, for me I can say it's a huge demand. Everybody knows that in the vets, and you're gonna have good quality of life as soon as you become a vet, and you can achieve whatever you dream about. It just everything depends on you and a little bit luck and blessing, for sure.
Yeah.
And everything is gonna be good. So just push, and everything is gonna be great.
So guys, don't be afraid of challenges. They scare us, but we just one step at a time and we move. I always say to people that if you're scared, just think about the time, in 1 year or 2 you will be somewhere, but if you don't really move, you will be nowhere. So You always have an opportunity to come back in most cases. But if you move forward, you will achieve something eventually. Yeah, if you don't move, you will be there, like at the same. You kind of you will stuck there. You will get stuck there, and you will not really move.
And the last question.
Yeah.
What do you think about Las Vegas?
Las Vegas. Well, it's not that crowded as in Washington, actually. Washington State, seriously. Wider roads. It's not as like, I don't see many hills here like in Washington State. So it's pretty plain roads, like even roads, I would say, and wide roads. Houses pretty much looks to be the same. Look to be the same.
Air is drier, right?
Air, different quality of the air. Yes, this is for sure. Because in Washington State you feel like pine in the air, but here it's just kind of dry.
You feel like sand and dust in the air.
Yeah. Well, guys, good luck.
Thank you for being with us.
Yeah.
And I hope it was useful for you guys. In case of any questions, please leave the comments down below. You can always contact us or contact me personally.
Push like and don't forget to subscribe.